What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Go ahead, jump in here. Go ahead, hit that like button. Go ahead. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Welcome back, Houston. Man, y'all seen it. Houston Texans lose in the divisional round 34-10. We just plain and simple. We got a butt whoop. Like just a good old fashioned ass whooping. Just point blank period. That's what happened. That's what happened. You went out there and I won't even say you laid an egg. You just got there, went out there and just got straight beat. Mostly mostly in the trenches where football's being played at. Like I told you yesterday, like this was football weather. This was an old school ass football game. You go out there and you gotta play football, and the game is won and lost in the trenches. Hey, and they got their lunch money taken. They got Debo. They got their chain snatched by Debo today. That's what happened. Ain't no way of sugarcoating it or putting it any type of way. That's what happened. They went out there and they got punched in the mouth and they got their lunch money taken. Just point blank period. That's what happened. They went out there, got their lunch money taken. It was 10-10 going into halftime. And I said it. Because Lamar Jackson dunked off and ran to halftime and said, hey, they starting to press. Because the offense started getting, the team started getting stuff going. You was getting a lot of pressure in. I think you got what, like four sacks on 3 or 4 sacks on Lamar Jackson going into halftime. The offense finally started moving and grooving. You got some good passes to Nico Collins, and CJ and Nico finally started to get up in the groove. And we know we ended up missing the field goal going into halftime, and we're like, man, they're gonna come back and bite us. It didn't come back to bite us because we weren't able to do anything offensively. What carried the team all year, the strength of the whole team all year, ended up becoming non-existent because the one touchdown that you got off a punt return. You only were able to muster up 3 points. You were only able to muster up 3 points. CJ was 19 of 33 for 175 yards. Completion percentage 63.3. I mean 56.3. 70 quarterback rate. That's what happened. Nico Collins targeted 10 times, had 5 catches for 68 yards. Singletary had 9 carries for 22 yards rushing. Had 5 catches for 48 yards. And you let Lamar Jackson finally have you let Lamar Jackson finally have a great playoff performance. I've been giving Lamar Jackson his all week. Been telling Lamar. I've been talking about Lamar Jackson's playoff record. I brought it up today in the live stream. Shout out to my boy Honcho. I think he's live right now too. I brought it up there in his live stream earlier today. Lamar Jackson was 1-3 going into the playoffs. Lamar Jackson was 1-3 going through into the playoffs, and had a completion percentage of 55%. Had a passer rate I think of 68%. Today, I say he had 4 total touchdowns in 4 previous games. He had 4 total touchdowns. You gave him 4 total touchdowns today. 16 to 22, 72 completion percentage, 152 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 100 yards on the ground for 11 rushes, averaging 9.1 yards per carry, 2 rushing touchdowns, a quarterback rating of 121.8. You gave him 4 touchdowns today. He got 4 today. He had 4 all of the previous 4. His previous 4 playoff games, he had 4 total touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 rushing. He had 2 rushing today and 2 passing today. He put up 34 points. Previous, he's only able to put up, if I'm not mistaken, his previous point total was 21 points. He gave you 34 today. This is embarrassing. I want to hear that good season stuff right now. This is embarrassing. This is why people don't look up for the Texans. This is the reason why people mock the Texans. Right here. Right that's why the franchise got trust issues now. Because of that. You went out there, you went out there and completely got your butt whooped. Completely got your butt whooped. Point blank. There's no sugarcoating. You completely went out there and got your butt absolutely handled. 34 points. And you were only able to muster up 3 offensively. You only was able to give up 3 offensively. It's a shame. An absolute shame. A complete, absolute shame. That's what happens. You're right. The Ravens have their business. That's why I understand why the Ravens fans felt they were being that they were the underdog. That type of mentality. I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. I didn't get like when you're the perennial favorites. They're being disrespected. How? Y'all perennial favorites. How y'all being disrespected? Y'all number 1 seed. Y'all have the who's going to be the MVP. And he looked like the MVP today. I believe that might have been Lamar Jackson's best game of the season, honestly. Dealing with the type of moment it was. I mean, I don't even know what his numbers was up against the 49ers and against the Dolphins a couple weeks ago. But again, Lamar Jackson went out there superbly and handled his business. He looked like the MVP. He completely looked like the MVP. Complete and utterly looked like the MVP. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Because again, like I said, you got your lunch money completely taken from you. Like you got straight up punked going up front, offensive line and defensive line. You got your lunch money taken. Again, we talk about a team that doesn't give up 100 yards rushing total. Lamar had 100 yards by himself. Hill had 60 yards. Gus had 43. Like we was giving up. We was giving up the cookie. We was giving up the cookie. We was going out there completely giving up the cookie. I see more people jump to hit my mention that like button, man. I know y'all upset because I'm upset too. But there ain't no reason why y'all can't hit that like button, man. Man, y'all can definitely hit that like button. I see 100 people in here, but I only see 20 likes, man. Hey, man. Hey, it's 80 of y'all up in here that ain't hitting the like button, man. Man, go ahead and hit that like button. Yeah, y'all can keep Slowick. Man, I don't even really fault Slowick. I think Slowick actually had some good play designs, honestly. Some of it was execution. Some of it was just poor offensive line play. A lot of it also was penalties, too. I mean, in the first half, we had 8 penalties for 50 yards. We had, I think, 2 penalties for 20 yards all last game against the Cleveland Browns. And then today, we had 8 penalties. 8 penalties for 50 yards just in the first half. I didn't even see what the second half penalty total was. Hey, man, shout out that boy Chris for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Let's go. The NFL needs to look out for who? A quarterback that overthrows wide receivers, a quarterback who can't find wide open receivers, a quarterback with no TDs, who palms sweaty now. CJ, baby. Appreciate Chris for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate the love. Don't appreciate what you're saying in that, but definitely appreciate the super chat love. I still think the NFL still is going to watch out for CJ. I feel like the NFL is still scared of CJ. Because again, especially the way the game was called in the beginning of the game, honestly, if you want to keep it all the way a buck, and I don't want to be that because again, at the end of the day, we didn't do anything in the second half. But it was actually the Texans were in a good position going into halftime, tied at 10. Because I do agree that what call was that? What call was that by CJ? Intentional grounding. That was intentional grounding. It was. But the play right before that, they didn't call on Patrick Quinn when he late hit and unnecessary roughness, however you want to call it, when he slammed Dalton Schultz. After Dalton Schultz gets out of bounds, he goes in and slams him. They didn't want to call that. And then they originally wasn't going to call intentional grounding. It took 30 minutes for them to call the intentional grounding. It took them 30 minutes. It took them 30 minutes to call intentional grounding. So I do believe the NFL still is going to be afraid of CJ. And I do think that You're gonna not because of today's performance. It's not gonna be as many as as it possibly would have been, but you're still gonna see some punters out there in the future when the season starts next year. Going to be looking at the Texans and going to be picking the Texans. I think the Texans still going to be the favorite to win the AFC South. I mean, they won the AFC South this year. They're going to be the favorite to win the AFC South. They definitely got the best quarterback. We definitely got the best quarterback in the division. So that's always going to be out there to look at. But this was embarrassing. This was embarrassing. And low key, actually kind of good. Low key really cool. Was kind of good. Because I think they really need to, because without CJ, they really ain't got their butt whooped this year. If you want to keep it a buck. Now, we got embarrassed against the Carolina Panthers. We lost a game we should have won against the Falcons. The Ravens game, like I said, it was 25-9, but everybody could attest, everybody who watched the game, even people who did, a lot of people would say that game was closer than what that score prediction, what that score was. The Colts game was a touchdown loss or something like that, or it was a one possession loss if I'm not mistaken. And I know the Jets game, but it was bad weather conditions. CJ gets knocked out and stuff like that. And then the Cleveland Brown game, the score ended up being closer than what it actually was, and also CJ wasn't there. This was a real butt whooping on national TV in front of the world to see. Everybody can see it. And it's the last thing that you're going to remember. It's the last thing that you're going to see. It's the last thing that's put on tape. I think it was a good thing that this, especially our first go around. Now, if this is year 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and you got stuff like this, like what's going on in Dallas with Dak Prescott, you don't have nothing to pull out encouraging about it. You don't. In this instance, in this situation, I think you absolutely do. You do have something encouraging to pull out. You do have something encouraging to pull out. But you do have something encouraging to pull out. Like, you need to be embarrassed. You need sometimes, you know what I'm saying, when you feeling yourself, you know what I'm saying, you smelling yourself, you know what I'm saying, you need to be embarrassed. You need to be, you need to be embarrassed. Sometimes you need to be embarrassed. And I feel like that's what that is. And Chris, once again, shout out Chris once again for Super Chat Love. So you're going to sit and not put no blame on CJ? This game wasn't CJ's fault. CJ was under duress. Like this game wasn't CJ Stroud's fault at all. I mean, shout out Chris for Super Chat Love, but this game wasn't CJ's fault at all in the slightest, bro. Like, not at all in the slightest. This game was not CJ's fault, bro. This game was not CJ's fault, bro. Like, I'm not blaming CJ at all. Not at all. Not in the slightest. I'm not blaming CJ. No. I mean, yeah. Did he miss some wide open receivers, or wasn't able to get the football to him because of the pressure? Yeah. Was some of the play calls a little questionable? Yeah. I mean, you got questionable plays, but he was under duress the whole game, and yeah, we wasn't able to move the football consistently. We wasn't, especially in the second half. We wasn't able to sustain drives and keep drives and keep the offense on the field, keep the defense off of the field, and we wasn't able to sustain drives and also get points. You're right. I'll give you that. Was it a great game by CJ? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. But some of it also is dealing with the weaponry that he has. Like, I mean, Dalton Schultz drops a wide open catch, completely wide open, right there in his hands. Boom, drops it. Then drops another one later on. The play that was the play design, which I think was a very very nice play design. The fake misdirection and the dump up to Brevin Jordan. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage to allow Con Hamilton to make a play on it. And luckily for us, it didn't turn to an interception, and we was able to get a field goal out of that drive. But I think Wichita possibly could have scored on that play. I think Brevin possibly could have caught that and turned up and actually scored on that play. Honestly. So, like I said, but sometimes you do. Especially with a coach like D'Amico, you need these butt whoopings. And I've told y'all several times when CJ has a bad game or a bad play turns around. If he threw a pick six in college, he turned around and gives you 4 touchdowns. That same game. If he has a bad game, a bad complete game, the next game he goes out there and he balls. I mean, look what happened against. He had probably I feel like his worst game was that Panthers game, and then the next game against Tampa Bay, he gives you 700. He gives you 470 yards and 5 touchdowns, tying and breaking rookie records. So I think that this right here is going to fuel him. I think it's going to eat him all summer, honestly. Like it's just going to sit back and it's going to eat at him all summer. This is going to sit back and eat at D'Amico Ryans all summer. It is. It's going to motivate him. Possibly motivate them to do everything they can next year to make sure that this type of game is not only not go this way, but also not played in Baltimore. That this game is sitting at that play inside it's played inside NRG Stadium. Like I said, like offensive line struggled. Just the point blank period. Like the Ravens, the Ravens' weakness of their defense was they run defense. Most specifically, yards per attempt. Their yards per carry that they allowed a lot of yards per carry. They allowed a lot of yards per carry this season, and that really was the weakness of their defense. And they came in and made a point to make sure that was not going to hinder them today. They came through and they made sure a point that was not going to hurt them today. They came through, they made sure they made a point that it was not going to be a hindrance, it was not going to be an issue to them. That's what they did. That's exactly what they came out to do. They came out and made sure that it was not going to hurt them, that it was not going to affect them, that it was not going to put them in a situation where they could possibly be 1-4 in the playoffs with Lamar Jackson. That's what they did. And I told y'all before numerous times, especially when Jadeveon Clowney was a Houston Texan, and I feel like he was the best run stopper in the NFL. I feel like Jadeveon Clowney, when he was a Houston Texan, was the best run stopper in the NFL. And you seen that today. You seen the way he was sitting there. You seen how he was tackling the run and getting tackles for loss. You seen that today. Then you also seen the lack of running ability and the lack of running attack that you had in the offense today. Because that was another thing that hurt the Texans was a lack of a running game. Not able to get a running game. Singletary carried the ball 9 times for 22 yards. Shout out Chris once again for the super chat love. Boy, that boy Chris, I know Chris a Colts fan. He's sitting up here eating it up that the Texans lost. Boy, he eating this up, boy. Man, shout out Chris for the super chat love, man. Definitely appreciate that. It wasn't Bobby's fault. Texans couldn't execute. I'm not gonna sit up there and blame Bobby too. I think Bobby did have some questionable play calls and play designs, and I also think that what they should have done, honestly, is that when the start, especially in the second half, you seen how the running attack was not working, how you was not able to do anything. I think. You sit up here averaging less than 2 yards per carry. Like you see how the running attack was working or non-working or not working, however you want to call it. You see how that was going and not in your favor, how it was going against you, and how it was hurting you, how it was hindering you. You seen all those type of things. So because you seen all those type of things, you see how it was hurting you, how it was hindering you, how it wasn't effective. To go away from the run and try to do other things to get the run going. We should have did a lot of short passing to get the running game going. That's really what we should have been doing. We should have went away from trying to keep on trying to run the whole run. Like try to get some short passing game and do some other things to try to simulate a type of run attack, the lack of run attack that we had. But again, when we talk about the run attack that we had, it's an issue that we should have seen coming. And I apologize because I know I was wrong on Petrie, but I was also wrong on Petrie because the way Petrie played last year, Petrie just completely took a complete step back. The running attack was a problem because in the run attack that some people didn't want to fix. Now I agree. I disagree how they want to fix it. I know a lot of guys want to go out there and draft Bijan. I don't think that Bijan, especially Bijan at 12, we weren't able to get him no way. And even if we would have kept the 12th pick, then we should have got Bijan. But I do think that we should have got like I said, a Spears, Tajay Spears, Devin A. Chain. We should have got somebody like that, a Tank Bisbee. Like we should have went out there in the draft last year, able to fix up and bolster up this running attack, because we should have not came into the season with Dameon Pierce being the primary running back and then Singletary being the backup coming into the season. Because the reason Devin Singletary today looked like a backup running back. He played like a backup running back. And the thing is, that's what he is. Singletary is a backup running back. He's not a bell cow. He's not a primary running back. The only reason why he's a primary running back is because the guy who you was counting and banking on to be your primary running back gave you nothing this year because he doesn't fit the system. Because he act like he can't see the hole. He can't see the cutback lanes. Either he reads them too late, or doesn't read them fast enough, or doesn't see them at all. I don't know what it is. Doesn't trust what he's seeing. I don't understand exactly what it is. And again, he said himself it's something he can fix. It's something he has to wait till the offseason to fix. Whatever it is that means. I don't know if that means something from his diet or whatever, but it's something that he has to fix whenever. But that's part of the problem when you're talking about Dameon Pierce. And you have Dameon Pierce being your primary running back. And you've seen throughout the season that it just was not working. That it just was not working. That it just was not working. And then he gets hurt and you put in Singletary. And when you put in Singletary, boom, you get 150 yards against the Cincinnati Bengals. Boom, you get 112 yards against the Cardinals. And then you put Dameon Pierce back in and you only allow Singletary to get, I think, like one carry in the Jags game. And you see exactly, okay, the running attack was working with one guy, it's not working with this guy. And then you put him back in and you get the game that you had against the like 100 and some yards against the Titans. You see, okay, now we are starting to get a running attack. Okay, we are starting to be very different, and we can able to do some things with the running attack, and able to do some things with the running game, able to do some things with the offense. It opens up the offense up now that we have a consistent running attack. So we thought. But the thing is, that what the thing really is, from the running attack standpoint, the situation is that it's just non-existent. And you got a backup trying to simulate an actual bell cow's role and try to give you some type of running game, and it just didn't work, and it just didn't fly today. And they, like I say, the Ravens today made an absolute point to stop the run game, and your offensive line allowed them to take the lunch money. They took the cookie. You allowed them you allowed them to take your chain on offense, and then on defense, you gave up the cookie. You did. You absolutely did. You absolutely did. Larry Tunsil out there fought. I mean, how many times Larry Tunsil gonna fall? So I know I said, hey man, that's the reason why you pay Larry Tunsil $100 million last week when we watched how he played against how he was able to shut down Myles Garrett, how he played against the Cleveland Browns. Because again, in the passing game, Larry Tunsil is possibly the best left tackle in the league. Larry Tunsil is money in the passing game. When we talk about pass pro, money is in the game. All in the game. When we talk about pass pro, he is legitimately in the game. But we talk about stopping the run. I mean, we talk about blocking the run. Well, Larry Tunsil be so lazy, and you think, because that's what offensive linemen love. Offensive linemen love to run block. They hate the pass block. They love to run the football. Oh, I mean, I'm able to push dudes back. Oh yeah, the offensive linemen love to run block. They hate pass pro. Larry Tunsil's the opposite. The reason why? It's because he knows that no matter how good of a run block is, the money is going to be and protecting the quarterback. So I'm going to excel and make sure and give all my effort in that standpoint because that's what's going to give me $100 million plus. That's going to keep me at top. It's going to keep me at top of the market because I'm protecting the quarterback, and that's the reason why a running. That's the reason why a left tackle like Larry Tunsil is the highest paid left tackle in the NFL. That's why because he excels at pass blocking. Because if it was reversed, if he excelled at run blocking, but was mediocre at blocking the pass at pass pro, he would not be the highest paid left tackle in the league. I guarantee that. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. And shout out Chris once again for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate the love, boy. Like I said before, man, Chris is loving this. Chris is loving this. Chris is trolling. Chris is loving. He is trolling. Man, shout out Chris for the super chat love. This was your chance to win the Super Bowl. Like you only had 3 teams to beat. To win ain't gonna be an easy road next year, especially when AR come back. I do think it's gonna be tough with AR. You are right, and it's AR because he doesn't wear 15 anymore. He only wears 5. I know you know that because you're a Colts fan. But appreciate you, Chris, for the super chat love. I definitely appreciate that. I say Chris is definitely in here trolling. Like he is definitely in here trolling, y'all. Like, y'all gotta give it to him. And hey, we gotta sit here. We gotta sit here and take it. Yeah, you're right. It's definitely gonna be It's definitely gonna be a not easy road. And especially when next year we're gonna have a tough schedule. We're gonna be playing number 1 schedule. Cause this past season we played we played a 4-play schedule. This year we're gonna play a number 1 schedule. And that's what happens when you win divisions and you become a good football team. Now, but I do believe, even though the road will be slightly tougher, we're going to be a better team and a better product next year. I do believe that. I do believe we're going to be a better team, we're going to be a better product going forward. But the thing is, even though I do believe that, even though I do believe we're going to be a better team and a better, we still got a lot of stuff. And I've been saying that all along that, hey, this is why it was scary for the NFL because the Texans were doing all this not only with a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach and a rookie offensive coordinator play caller. The Texans have not nowhere near yet got to where they were supposed to be at. No, we're nowhere close to where we're supposed to be at. We're nowhere close to having it because we have a lot of issues, and the thing is, those issues came up today. Run the football. Protecting the quarterback, giving up big plays. Those issues came up today. And those are things that we're going to have to fix and that we're going to have to rectify going forward in the future. We got to fix those things. We got to rectify those things going forward in the future. We just do. Because if we don't, then we will be constantly in the same situation. We will constantly be in the same situation. We will be constantly in the same situation. We would. We definitely would. And shout out Chris once again for the super chat love. Do you think Tampa Bay is supposed to be this far? Yeah, I actually do. Cause I actually picked them to beat Green Bay. I mean not Green Bay. I actually picked them to beat the Philadelphia Eagles because I thought the Philadelphia Eagles had put themselves in a situation where they were trailing. I do feel like that. I do feel like Tampa Bay was supposed to be far. Do I think they're going to continue? Do I think that Tampa Bay got things that's going to be building? No, Tampa Bay is going to be one of those teams, I believe. You know, it's always a team that makes the playoffs, and then when the playoffs start again, that team is a team that's not in the team that's in the playoffs is not going to make the playoffs. And I feel like Tampa Bay is going to be one of those teams. Now, what helps out Tampa Bay is their division. What helps out Tampa Bay is their division with the Saints, with the Falcons, and with the Panthers. That's what helps them out. But do I think that Baker Mayfield is the future of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Absolutely not. I don't. And I feel like Tampa Bay is going to be one of those teams that's not going to make the playoffs next year. Of all teams that make the playoffs, I think that if you ask me one of those teams not going to make the playoffs, I think Tampa is going to be one. I think Tampa is going to be the team that not make the playoffs. That's what I think is going to happen. I think like Tampa is going to be the team that's not going to make the playoffs. So I feel like that's going to be one of the teams that's not going to make the playoffs. So It is what it is. But I mean, like I said, shout out Chris for Super Chat Love. But I think that it's I mean, yeah, you do have teams. You got teams that don't repeat that same success. And again, we were from worst to first, and we have the building block pieces. We have the quarterback. We have the coach. We have the general manager. We have the defensive anchor who missed a lot of time down the stretch and missed time in the second half of this game because he's dealing with injury. I feel like we have potentially the best cornerback in the league coming up next year. Have one of the best cornerbacks in the league next year in Derek Stingley. I do believe that. I do think those are part of the case. Even though he got on that one touchdown, that one touchdown unlikely had. It was thrown right above Stingley. Stingley wasn't able to make a play on it. But I do think we need to fix something in the safety department because as it stands right now, Jalen Petrie does not give you what you need. He does not give you what you need. Now we look to how can we fix this? How can we get better on this? And like I've been saying, I know a lot of people have issues with the offensive line. And the way the offensive line has played, I give you that. I have issues with the offensive line, especially the way they played today too. But the one thing about the offensive line is you kind of hamstrung and kind of tied up a little bit because you've already invested two draft picks and two draft pick trades and two contract extensions and making Larry Tunsil the highest paid. You traded for Shaq Mason and you paid him. You used the first round pick on Tyus Howard and then backed up and paid him. So those three you tied up in money this season. It wasn't like they're on year 3 of their contracts. You paid Tunsil during the all season. You paid Mason right after you traded for him, and you paid Tyus Howard before the season started. Then you drafted Kenyon Green with the first pick. You drafted Kenyon Green with your second first round pick last year. And then you jumped up in the second round and drafted Shaq Mason. Not just Shaq Mason. Drafted Juice Scruggs in the second round. Those are potentially supposed to be your 5 offensive linemen. Those potentially supposed to be your 5 offensive linemen that you have invested in. And shout out Jeff Huff for the Super Chat Love. Definitely appreciate that. Great time at the game. I only expected us to win 5 games. And shout out Jeff for the Super Chat Love. Definitely appreciate that, man. You don't expect us to win 5 games. I mean, like I said, I know you out there church drive. I know it's cold out there, bro. But man, appreciate you for the Super Chat Love, man. I hope you did have a good time, even though the score and the way we played in the second half. The first half, you probably was all right, cool. Because going into halftime, you were like, all right, cool. Man, we with all the mistakes, all the penalties, everything, offensive line, whatever. We still in it. It's 0-0 going to the second half, and then you allowed them to go out there and score 24 points in the second half. But you felt good because the offense even got clicking yet. So you feel good, and I know you probably did feel good in that first half. And like I said, shout out Jeff for Super Chat Love, man. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that Super Chat Love, man. But I understand, I understand that was part of the issue. I understand and I get that. When you come into, like I said, you come and you look at that's what the 5 offensive linemen are. And that's the 5 offensive line we invested in. And I know, okay, man, we need to go out there and draft offensive linemen. It's going to be hard to draft. I mean, you can do whatever you want to. But where is he going to play? Because, again, you paid your left tackle, highest paid in the league. You traded and then also paid your right guard. You also paid your right tackle. And like I say, these are all contracts they got this year. So we're going to be in year 1 of their money. Now, you jumped up and drafted your center in the second round. And you also drafted your right guard in the first round a year ago. So that's your starting 5. And you've invested a lot into them. So if you draft somebody or you go out there and pay somebody, who's been replaced. Not to mention you got Fant. Not to mention you got I forgot what his name is. The guy who's playing center right now. I can't think of his name right now. I mean you actually got your depth already for your offensive line because that's supposed to be your start five. Now the problem with that is that Keon Green hasn't played none this season. In the year before his rookie year, he missed time and also didn't play all that well. So that's part of the problem. So again, and also Declan, thank you, Dita. I'm sorry, Dita. You're right, yeah, Dita. My bad. Yeah, thank you, Dita. So when you talk about that, when you talk about him, and this is where it gets a little icky and sticky and very complicated when it comes to Keon Green. Because if you do end up have to move on, because Keon Green, again, is a first round pick in 2021, and in 2022, I'm sorry, first round pick in 2022. If Keon Green once again plays either poorly or doesn't play, and you do have to move on from him, this is where the problem is. Because you also got Jalen Petrie, who's your safety, who you drafted a second round pick on in that same draft. The reason why that's an issue because originally in the 2022 draft, you had the third pick in the draft, and you drafted Derek Stingley, who, even though missed some time, has started to pay off huge dividends down the stretch. Defensive Player of the Month, looked like he's a shutdown corner. Came through and shut down Amari Cooper after Amari Cooper gave the Texans the business. Gave the Texans the business on Christmas Eve. He came and shut him down in a playoff game and showed you that he is a number one type corner. You also had the 13th pick in the draft. Kyle Hamilton was on the board, safety we seen tonight in Baltimore. You move back 2 spots. The Ravens pick 14, draft Kyle Hamilton. You pick 15, draft Keon Green. Then you backdoor in the second round and draft Jalen Petrie. Cool. Jalen Petrie had a solid year his rookie year. Coming into the season, we felt like he was going to be an All-Pro based off of the season he had last year. He had 5 interceptions, had like 140-some tackles. And we were talking about, like, man, he missed a whole bunch of tackles, and he dropped a whole bunch of interceptions. You can talk about a guy who possibly could have had 10 interceptions, and 2 other tackles. But Kyle Hamilton struggled in the beginning of the season his rookie year, but down the stretch got it going and got it correct and actually was looking like the guy. Coming to their second year, Petrie completely falls off. Kyle Hamilton's all-pro. A guy who you could have had. So if Jalen Petrie still continues to go down the road that he's gone this year, I know a lot of people want to say sophomore slump. I don't. I feel like he's hot butter garbage. I mean, he should have caught the interception today, if you want to be honest. He had 2 opportunities and 2 different chances. The one at the line of scrimmage and then the one in the end zone. That's something that we need. We needed us to get a turnover. Lamar Jackson, once again, back to Lamar Jackson having the type of game he had. He's turned the football over in every single playoff game up until today. Up until today, he's turned the football over in every single game. Every single game, he's had at least 1 turnover. He had 7 turnovers going into today. 5 interceptions, 2 lost fumbles. Had 5 total fumbles, but only 2 of them lost. So he's lost the football 10 different times. The football has got out of his hand, not in the right way, 10 different times. 5 fumbles, 5 interceptions. Luckily for him, 3 of those fumbles were recovered. Turned the football over 7 times. And only had 4 total touchdowns. Today, 0 turnovers. 4 total touchdowns. 2 throwing, 2 on the ground. I digress. But that's what Petrie used to bring to the table and does not no longer. And I know also Kyle Hamilton had dropped an interception today too, the one that was tipped to him. And this play, I thought he had it. I thought he made it. It looked like he might have. Yeah, I think he thought he was thinking pick 6 because if he would have caught it cleanly the first time he was making the beeline and it was in the end zone. But I think he saw it, like he saw the end zone, and he didn't feel in the catch cleanly and kind of overran the football, and then tried to come back and get it and wasn't able to come back with it, wasn't able to get a grasp on it, and that's the reason why it was not a pick six, but it should have been a pick six. It was that close to almost being a pick six. Should have been a pick six, but even though it wasn't. Even though it wasn't a pick six, I digress. So if Kenyon Green doesn't show up next year and doesn't do what we're supposed to do, and also Petrie does the same thing, we look at that as a double mistake. Because not only you could have had your cornerback safety tandem in Stingley and Hamilton. Now you got to find the offensive lineman too. Because at least if Petrie doesn't pan out, but Kenyon Green pans out, yeah, we could have had a safety cornerback situation. But at least we got an offensive lineman to protect our future quarterback or protect our quarterback. But we got to go out there and find another offensive lineman. That's the problem. And again, that's the reason why I think Nick Casario is going to be holding out hope, and I don't see them this season doing a lot to fix the offensive line. Because I feel like you got to roll with what you got because what you invest into them. Because you invested money in 3 of the 5. In the other 2, you invested high draft picks. The only reason why you didn't invest money is because it's not time for them to get paid yet. So, like, it's a frustrating situation, and I get it, and I understand how people feel because it's an irritating, frustrating situation. But it's an irritating, frustrating situation. But we gotta get it going, man. And shout out Chris once again for Super Chat Love. Ravens almost had a pick too. It was bobbled in the air for like 10 seconds. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton, it almost was a pick. Like, if you want to be completely honest, it should have been a pick 6. If you want to be completely honest, Kyle Hamilton should have had pick 6. I think that he's seen the end zone. I feel like he's seen the end zone, and in his mind, he's visualizing the touchdown, and he didn't catch the ball cleanly. And that's the reason why when he catches the ball, when he makes a play on the football, his eyes get big. He sees green. He sees pay dirt. I'm about to run to get it. I'm about to run, score a touchdown. I didn't catch it clearly. I didn't catch it cleanly. Now I got to turn back around and try to catch it. He bobbled it, and it was incompletion. Luckily for the Texans. So I think that's the job we got field goal on. Script as fuck, bro. Tell me it's not Vegas wins once again. I know a lot of people feel like that. A lot of people feel like you know what I'm saying, like, hey, we know what's up. I mean, what happens if the 49ers lose to Green Bay? What happens if the 49ers lose to Green Bay? What happens if the 49ers lose to Green Bay? So, Slowick is growing with all of our guys. He gotta learn to win. We do need a running back though, and wide receiver depth. Yeah, you're right. Wide receiver depth does hurt us. It does. You're right. You're absolutely right about that. Like wide receiver depth definitely hurts us. Like I know a lot of people got like issues with Bobby Slowick. I do too. Like I've been telling y'all all year how I was out on Bobby Slowick during the Dolphin preseason game, but over the season he has earned the way that he has earned. I do think that he's got himself to be a good play caller. To be honest, I feel like Bobby Slowick is a better play caller than Mike McDaniels. I feel like Bobby Slowick is a better play caller than the wonder kid Mike McDaniels with the Dolphins. Honestly, I do. I actually do. Like I didn't feel like that at first, but I do. I definitely feel like now because without Tyreek Hill, he can't do nothing. Like without Tyreek Hill, but Mike McDaniels and the Dolphins offense doesn't do anything. No matter if they got Waddle, no matter if they got A-Chain, no matter if they without Tyreek Hill, that offense is stagnant and cannot do anything. We seen without Tank Dell, this offense move. We seen without Nico Collins and with Tank Dell, this offense move. We've even seen without C.J. Stroud. This offense got something going. Now, Paul Kingdom was struggling, but Bobby Slowick had a good game plan against the Titans, and they was able to wing out and win. They was able to make stuff going. And again, I do think that's mostly on C.J. Stroud. I do think that C.J. Stroud mostly gets this team going. I'm not discrediting that. I know what's the starter. I know what the straw that stirs the drink. I know who it is. I know it's Cold Red Stroud. I know exactly who it is. Because I Slowick called a great game last week. Only second to his game he called against the Steelers, in my opinion. And I think that he have better play calls than Mike McDaniels. And I know why teams will go out there and try to emulate and try to go out there and bring Bobby Slowick. You know, you got Washington, who they general manager that just hired came from San Francisco. Same thing with the Titans. They general manager, another guy came from San Francisco. Those guys have ties to Bobby Slowick. Though both of those guys have ties to Bobby Slowick. They do. Both of those guys have ties to Bobby Slowick. I can see why they will hire Bobby Slowick. Now, do I think that Bobby Slowick will take those jobs? I don't think he'll take the Titans job. I'll be surprised if he takes the Titans job. Honestly. I do think there's a possibility of him taking the Washington job. I actually think the Washington job is a good job. I think the Washington got the second pick in the draft. Washington has the second pick in the draft. They have weapons, offensively and defensively. I think that you could probably have some things shaped with Washington. I do believe that, especially if they draft the right quarterback. You can get your quarterback. And who knows? Even if you really feel that you need Caleb Williams, Washington probably can get Caleb Williams because I can see Chicago moving from 1 to 2. Like I can see Chicago gain because Chicago can gain more draft picks. Because the thing is, Chicago has a quarterback if they want to keep him in Justin Fields. Like if Chicago wants to keep Justin Fields, they can do that. They can keep him. They can keep him if they so choose to. So I can see them moving on from that number 1 pick. I actually think it's actually smart for them to move on from number 1 pick, honestly. But again, that's not. But that's still a conversation for another day. But I do think that that would be actually a very enticing job if that's a job that that Bobby Slowick does happen to want or does happen to take. Man, you're right. Swisher, you're right. We do get New Jerseys. I mean, this caps and this closes and ends this era of the Houston Texans. Like I said, same name, same logo, same stadium, same color scheme. But it's going to be a new soft reboot, a soft refresh of the Houston Texans going forward. And we're going to see exactly how that looks. And we're going to see exactly how it looks and how it feels. And I mean, I guess in some ways, it's kind of fitting to get a good old Houston Texan disappointment. To get a good old Houston Texan disappointment. A good old Houston Texan, same old Texans type. We get here and we get embarrassed. We get here and I think another reason why people feel a certain way is because of the embarrassing loss. I think man we would have lost 34-31, 34-28, 17-10, 20-17, 21-14. If we would have lost something like that, I think we like, damn, man, it was a close game, man. But we was in there. We was in there, man. We was getting, man. Hey, boy. Hey, it's kind of hard to even say looking at 34-10 and Lamar Jackson looking like the league MVP all up and down the field that you actually feel good about this one. It's kind of hard to have that type of feeling and type of sentiments. It really is. It's kind of hard to have that type of feeling and type of sentiment right now because you do feel some type of way. You really do. You feel some type of way right now. You do. You absolutely do. You completely feel some type of way. So it is what it is. I feel like I said, the Texans can't do anything but get better from this situation. Learn from this situation. Yeah, I mean, that sad part about it. Now we about to get back into our normal wheelhouse. Looking at draft prospects, looking at players, looking at what position in the draft, things like that. But that's, but the good news is that Nick Casario did the right thing by trading our draft pick and not Cleveland's draft pick. That way, that pick is a lower draft pick than ours. So that's that what comes out of this. But like I said, now we back in our wheelhouse when we looking towards the draft and we looking at players. Going back and looking at this game, and there are a lot of things. With this is a lot of things in this game that show like glaring issues. But like I said, like I don't think offensive line is something that you drafted in the first round. I'll be honest with y'all. I mean, again, offense only put up 3 points. It actually might be, and the thing is, it might be good because even though Nico has played well for the last couple of games, and this is not slight or dissing Nico because I do believe that Nico has put himself in a different conversation now. And as far as that, I know we were talking about is Nico number one. I think Nico is the number one on this team until Tank is back. I think Tim and Tank is like they both right there. I think fighting for the number one spot. But Nico definitely had deserved this round team. But I did want the confusion of Nico Collins' success cloud people's judgment and be especially Nick's, because he's the guy Nick and D'Amico, because they're the guys who were pulling the triggers on certain things about adding receiving help to this court. Oh man, we good. We gonna bring back Tank. And we got Nico. Hey man, we good. Like no, I still believe that those guys. I still think that those might be your 2 1 and 2s. You think you still gotta bring somebody in some type of capacity. I think you got if it's a free agent, if it's bringing in Mike Evans, if it's find a way to get Brandon Ayuk, things like that, you're gonna have to bring in, or if it's about drafting a receiver with that 23rd pick, or drafting a receiver in the second round, you're gonna have to give C.J. Stroud another weapon. C.J. needs 2 weapons of offense. He needs consistent running attack, a running game. He needs another target because when they take away Nico or Tank, he needs somebody else to throw to because Robert Woods ain't cutting it. Noah Brown put on IR, and we already know Noah Brown more likely Robert Woods not gonna be here next year. And I know people start getting a little bit hot host with Mechie because Mechie made a couple of plays here and there last week. Mechie and Hutchinson, until proven otherwise, are non-factors, and I don't count on them. I don't acknowledge their existence on the team until proven otherwise. And it's not even a diss at them. They haven't done anything. They haven't. they haven't done anything for me to even acknowledge that they're here. Why should I care? Who do we have a number 8 and a number 19? Why should I care? Someone tell me why should I care? Because he went to Alabama? Because we liked him coming out of the draft? We haven't seen anything all season long from either one of them outside blocking. That's the only thing that they could. You put them on there and have them block. Hey, they good. At first we thought about in the beginning of the season, oh, it's because the offensive line is mismatched and stuff like that, and we trying to get things going. When we started getting the offensive lineman back, Tunsil was missing time and Tyus Howard was missing time. Once we started getting the offensive line back, they still wasn't doing anything. Again, I don't know if it was route combinations, if it was route concepts, understand the playbook, didn't like the way they ran their routes, wasn't catching the football, wasn't on target, but they've been afforded a lot of opportunities. They have, because Tank Dell got hurt in the first quarter of the Denver Bronco game. So you had the remaining 3 quarters of that game. You had all 4 quarters against the Jets game, but I'll give you a pass on that because of the weather. Nico Collins was gone the first Titans game. I understand it was no CJ, but still. No, somebody got to catch the football. You ain't got Nico. You don't got number 1 or your number 2 receiver, Nico or Tank. However you want to slice it. Nico comes back in the first Browns game, but again, no CJ. The second Titans game, we were easing things into whatever. Game against the Colts. Everything's on the line because you lose, you go home. You win, you extend your season. Like CJ said, we too special, our season can't end here. Last week against the Cleveland, we starts getting some stuff moving and grooving, but slightly. This is the money time right here. This was the time it was money. This was the time when I needed you to make some plays. Because the chips started to be down. You win the halftime 10-10. The halftime, coming to halftime, you should be pumped. And then what the Ravens do, the Ravens go down there and drive, I think it was 6 plays, 55 yards, like in 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and got a touchdown, 17-10. Okay, offense, go out there and make some things happen. And you easily, quickly got a 3 and out. Part of it was offensive line not blocking, penalties in the wrong moments and wrong bad junctions in the game, but also Mechie and Hutchinson was not helping your quarterback. You need guys to make plays. Nico's put himself into a playmaking role. He's been making plays for your quarterback, like against the Colts, like against the Browns. Even today, going into halftime, he was making plays for your quarterback. Everybody else is not. We got to stop with the excuses. And we got to look and see exactly what it is. And call it out what it is. If it look like a duck, and then quack like a duck, and then walk like a duck, it's a damn duck. Don't sugarcoat it. And don't say, nah, it's a mongoose. No, it's an ostrich. No, it's a parrot. No, it's a turkey. No, it's a damn duck. When we know it's a duck. Don't try to make it out what it is. Oh, it's just feeling hurt right now. Oh, stop giving excuses. Don't give no more excuses. That's what we've been doing. We've been giving excuses. We've been trained as fans to be giving our team excuses. And again, the Texans actually trained out that guy that got out of their business for the way that we were acting for the last couple of weeks. And the way we were acting for the last couple of weeks, this last couple of years, up until the last couple of weeks, how we wasn't showing up and showing out. Hey, shout out Samuel for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Bobby Slowick play calling is trash, bro. It has been, especially in the red zone. I will give you that. That's really my main issue with Bobby Slowick is I don't like his red zone play calls. Even in his good games, outside of the a Steelers game, because the Steelers game Steelers game he like so that's why that's to me the Steelers game is his best play call is that Steelers game. It's because he was good in the red zone. Like he had good red zone calls in that game. Because even last week against the Browns, I did not like how he called the red zone. I did not like his red zone calls. That shuffle past the back when you let Myles Garrett unblock. That's the only time Myles Garrett had a pressure and had pressure in the rush in that game was because he was left unblocked or hurry because he was left unblocked. The next you try to do a zone read with C.J. Stroud, and then you try to do a little pass to Nico like that. I mean not Nico to. And it wasn't even to Nico. It was to Robert Woods. Like I didn't like that play call in the red zone. I do think that he struggles with red zone play calling outside that Pittsburgh Steelers game. Shout out Michelle sent me for Super Chat Love. Definitely appreciate that. Hey, shout out to Chris once again for Super Chat Love. I think that high step TD killed the Texans. Wow. Uh, nah. I mean, that guy's back in the game. Did that tie up at 10? Yeah, I think it did tie. It did tie it up at 10. Yeah, it tied up at 10. Yeah, it tied up at 10. I mean, hey, that was the only thing to get it going to get it cheering. That was the only thing. That was the only thing to get it going to get it cheering. I I do wonder if now I do wonder if you want to talk about something that shifted the momentum. I wonder if Fairbairn missing that field goal, if that did kill the momentum of the Texans. Because, again, up until that point, the Texans had back-to-back sacks on Lamar Jackson. Back-to-back sacks on Lamar Jackson. They punt the football. The Texans get the football back, and the Texans start moving. That's when you start seeing the big plays from Nico. You see Nico's, I think, 21-yard reception, 24-yard reception. I think he had 24-yard reception. He had down the middle. Then the very next play, another key first down, and you start seeing the Texans move and get the drive did end up getting stalled in the red zone, but we wasn't able to cash in on something. We went down there and we put Fairbairn out there, and Fairbairn missed the field goal. Now, even though we went into halftime down, I went into halftime tied at 10. I wonder if the Texans felt. I say that the Ravens started pressing and they started feeling the pressure. I wonder if the Texans themselves started to allow themselves to feel pressure because Fairbairn missed that field goal, and they like, damn, we let an opportunity to take the lead going into halftime off the board. If he goes, then he goes back there and does what? He gets the football, and like I just said, drive down there. If 6 plays in 2.5 minutes, and score a touchdown. I wonder if the game was over then. Well, me technically it was, but that was the game-winning touchdown because they never looked back after that. I wonder if that was the case. I wonder if that missed field goal by Fairbairn killed the morale and the momentum for the Texans. I wonder if that killed the morale and the momentum for the Texans. I wonder if it did. Like now, as I'm sitting back here thinking about it, just the game over me, just sitting back and just thinking and replaying the game in my mind, just key points. And you brought that up about the punt return. I'm like, no, that's when we started to get into the groove. We started getting it kicking. I think that also got us up and got us upbeat and got us crunk because before that, the game was just. It was like we wasn't really focused. Like it was just really just. It didn't feel like that feeling, that energy of a playoff game. And I think once we got that punt return, okay, boom, we in this thing. I wonder if because we finally got something, because that was actually the best drive of that was the best offensive drive of the game. Because we finally got something really clicking and cooking and working offensively, and we wasn't able to cash in any type of capacity. Because even when you kick a field goal, it's still, I know it's a win for the defense. The real time, all the time, a field goal, holding a point to a field goal is a win for the defense if they get the football in they get the football in field goal range. They get the football in field goal. If the offense gets the football in field goal range, Like the drive starts in field goal range, and we only hold you to a field goal. Now defense feels good because okay, cool. We like that's probably outside of a turnover. That's best case scenario. So we did everything we could outside of turning the football over. So we feeling good right now. It's but like if a team is driving and getting points on the board, or obviously you know if you gotta have a touchdown to win, but then they're not even kicking the field goal. So I digress. But but if the offense is moving, is driving, if the offense can get something out of it, especially up to this point, they haven't got little of nothing done, and the only real splash play was a punt return. If the offense is able to get something out of that drive, the offense is feeling good. They feeling okay. What we doing actually matters. What we doing is actually working. We found some things, and they didn't continue and piggyback off of what they were doing in the first half offensively and defensively. But I wonder if some of that morale and some of that energy and some of that momentum was taken away when Fairbairn kicked and missed the extra point. Because I wonder once, like I said, when it happened, me sitting at home on the couch, I'm sitting back thinking, is that going to cost us? And just like I've been saying, like if the longer that the score is tight and close, that Lamar Jackson's gonna be thinking about that 1-3 playoff record, that 55 completion percentage. He's gonna be thinking about that 5 touchdowns, or before touchdowns, 7 turnovers. He's gonna be constantly thinking about that. I wonder Fairbairn missing that field goal. Now, when things start getting tight, or when the Ravens start scoring, you start thinking like, damn, so nice to have that field goal right now. So nice to have that extra. You know, you start thinking about that, and now you're starting to let that missed field goal beat you twice. It beats you in the moment. You're starting to let it cost more than once. You let it cost you let it cost in that moment and on the scoreboard, and now you're letting it continuously cost throughout the rest of the game. Because that's the last time the Texans got in the scoring range. That's the last time the Texans got into scoring position was when Fairbairn missed that field goal in the end of the second quarter. So I wonder if that was part of the problem. I wonder if that was an issue. I wonder if that is what got the Texans here to this point. I just wonder. I just wonder. I just wonder. Because I feel like that possibly could be the case. I feel like that possibly could be the case. I do. I feel like that possibly could be the case. So like I mean, like all in all, like I said, it's definitely frustrating. Like today was definitely frustrating, irritating. I didn't like it whatsoever. Didn't like it none. I mean, it was embarrassing. Like, and there's no way to say it. You go out there and you were embarrassed, and now you sitting back here licking your wounds and trying to figure out what can you do to fix it. What could you do going forward to get better? What could you do going forward to fix it, to change it? Because is this going to be the Houston Texans? Like 7 times we've won the South. 5 times we won Wild Card Saturday. We've never won division Saturday or Sunday. When will it change? When will it be different? When will we not be sitting here on divisional weekend and be upset? When will we not be mad on divisional weekend? When will we be like we are finally in a championship game? Like I said last night, you got to finish the damn job. And the Texans did not finish the job. Didn't come close to finishing the job. They didn't clock in for work. They didn't clock in. They didn't. But when will we be able to finish the job? When will we be able to, like, the job is finally finished. We finally made it. We made it. When? When we be able to enjoy success long term? When we're able to enjoy, you know what I'm saying, the fruits of our labor. Because again, like I said, 7 times we won the AFC South. That's the reason. Days like today is the reason why we don't be satisfied with division championship shirts. Days like today are the reasons why a lot of people didn't buy division championship merch. And if you did, I'm happy that you did, because I do think this was different than the Bill O'Brien, the Deshaun Watson era. But it's not far off, because we're giving you a pass now, especially with this 34-10. Oh, like I said, if it's 34-31, we may give you a pass next year. 24-20, we may give you a pass next year. This 34-10, I don't know. You win the AFC South next year, we like good. That's what you're supposed to do. You win the first game in the wild card. Good. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, talk to me divisional weekend. That's how we coming. And again, I know it's not CJ's or with Anderson or Darius Stingley or even Nico Collins, Tank Dale, D'Amico Ryans. It's not their fault. But at the same time, they got a chance to fix it. It's not their fault that we feel like this, because this is all stemming from the previous 6 division titles. Really, the last 4, because the first one is different. The first one is different, and then this one is different. So it's the 4 that's in between. It's from 2012 to 2019. In those standpoints, it's those in that realm. It's those just from 2012 to 2019. It's that ecosystem that really is the frustration. But that's the reason why we feel the way we feel. That's the reason why that we have trust issues. Because 2011, we was happy to be here. 2011, we was completely this first time ever we happy to be here. And then this year, some people didn't expect the Texans to be here, and we here. But you go out there and you do this. We're not happy next year if you be 12 and would be 12-5. Yeah, 12-5. If you 12-5 next year and win the AFC South, we not no. We know we happy and we glad you won 12 games. We happy you won the AFC South. We happy that we're in the playoffs and hosting the playoff game. But not saying we're not gonna be happy, but we looking for this. We looking to overstep in this divisional hump. And if you don't, now we looking at you like the Dallas Cowboys are looking at Dak Prescott. Like how the Ravens was looking at Lamar Jackson coming in today. How the Green Bay Packers looked at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers got a Super Bowl. Like, we looking at y'all like this, like how the coach was looking at Peyton Manning until he actually won his Super Bowl. That's how we gonna be looking. That's how we gonna be looking. So you gotta get past this. You gotta get past this. So you gotta look at that. That's why I'm actually kind of glad that in hindsight's 2020, but I'm actually glad it was embarrassing. I'm actually glad we got our butts kicked. I'm actually glad we got Debo. I'm actually glad we got our lunch money took. That Debo took our chain. I'm actually glad that happened because now it forces these guys to look in the mirror and say something has to change. We can't do what we did today going forward. We can't. We not as good as we thought we were, and we cannot allow what happened today to constantly and continuously go forward. The city of Houston is not going to allow it. They're not going to allow it. None whatsoever. They're not going to allow it. So we gotta fix it. We gotta get better. We can't do the same old, same old. It's not gonna fly. Doing the same thing is not gonna fly. So we gotta improve. We gotta get better, and we gotta keep it going because we are better than this. We're better than 34-10. We're better than that. We're better than giving up 72.7 completion percentage to a guy that career going into the day was 55%. We're better than 100 yards and 2 touchdowns off 11 runs, averaging 9.1 yards per carry to a guy that's total has 4 touchdowns going into today's game in the playoffs. A guy who has a quarterback rating of 121.8 to a guy that going into today's game, career quarterback rating in the playoffs was at 68%. Like, if you look at it, because 4 games is a decent sample size, this looked like more of an aspiration. But, and I'm not slighting, I'm not disrespecting Lamar Jackson because Lamar Jackson played phenomenal. I'm not even saying the defense let him. I'm just saying that he was able to answer all the questions. Zero turnovers, 4 touchdowns previously, 4 total touchdowns, and 7 total turnovers previously. Today he answered all those questions. No turnovers, 4 total touchdowns, 152 yards in the air, 100 yards on the ground, quarterback rating of 121.8, complete percentage of 72.7 complete percentage. He answered every single question on the test. He gave it everything. Able to go out there and dominate a team. A rookie quarterback is up and coming. He was able to prove it and dominate and look better. He was. Is his style conducive of wins in the playoffs? It was. Was you worth the contract? You were. Are you worthy of being the MVP? It doesn't matter what happens in the AFC Championship game. It doesn't. It does not matter what happens in the AFC Championship game now. No matter what happens. He can lose. Well, he can't lose 50-9. But he can go out there in the AFC Championship game, especially if it's against Patrick Mahomes. He can go out there and lose 24-10, 24-14. You're gonna say, yeah, he was definitely deserving the MVP. If Lamar Jackson had a bad game and lost to the Texans, even though he would have won the MVP because it's a regular season award, people have been side-eyeing the MVP and side-eyeing that he won MVP. Now, it's legitimately that he won the MVP. It is. And he's a Heisman Trophy winner. And again, like I said before, like Heisman Trophy winners really don't do anything in the NFL, don't really do anything on the NFL level. He could be potentially really be the first Heisman Trophy winner to come away with a Super Bowl trophy. I think since Roger Staubach. Then I think Roger Staubach's the last Super Bowl winning quarterback to win the Super Bowl winning quarterback that also won a Heisman in college. I think he would be the first one since then, if I'm not mistaken. I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna do a little hating because now I was rooting for Detroit. Now since the Texans out of the playoffs, I don't want Detroit to go in because Detroit's like one of the like it's like the Texans, the Lions, the Jags. It's another team too. The Browns, just the Browns. The Texans, Lions, Browns, and Jags. I believe are the only teams left to not make a Super Bowl. Yeah, because everybody else, the Saints won 1, Tampa Bay won 2, Panthers have been to 2, Falcons have lost 2, Cardinals have lost one. Seahawks have won one. 49ers won multiple. The Rams have won multiple. Bears have won one. The Packers have won one. The Lions, like I said, never been one. Uh, uh, Minnesota has made it. I think Minnesota made two, if I'm not mistaken. Steelers have won one. The Browns ain't never been to one. Ravens have won two. Uh, um, the Bengals have never won one, but they've been there. Giants have won Super Bowl. Eagles have won Super Bowl. Washington, Dallas, they all won Super Bowls. Texans have never been there. Jacksonville have never been there. Titans have lost one. The Colts have won a couple Super Bowls. Yeah. Chiefs won Super Bowl. Chargers have lost in Super Bowl, never won one. Who else? Raiders have won a Super Bowl, and the Broncos have won some Super Bowls. Hey, shout out that boy Rue for the Super Chat Love. Definitely appreciate that. What the what the fuck was Slowick doing? Uh Man, shout out Rue for the Super Chat Love. Man, that boy man, that boy Slow was that boy Slow was trying to prove that he was the hot coach. Man, that was a nice pass by Brock Purdy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you, Brock Purdy. That was a nice pass by Brock Purdy. I ain't gonna fake it. That definitely was a nice pass. Hey, but shout out Roof for the Super Chat Love. Definitely appreciate that. Yeah, man. Yeah, Bobby Slowick. I do think he had some moments in the game that was bad, but I think I think the most egregious thing that Bobby Slowick was doing was when the run attack was clearly not working, not getting away from the run soon enough, and try to do other things to get. And I think he did try to do some things, with some of the plays he was trying to do with the reverse. I think that was his way of trying to get out of the running attack and try to do some other things. I think he should simplify things honestly and just make things just do like just short, quick passes, get the ball out of CJ hands. Because especially with the running game not working and the offensive line not protecting the well, doing some quick, short passes, get the football out of CJ hands quick. I mean, we talk about time about how good what you call this with the screen, how good Nico Collins with the screen. I think she try to get the football in Nico Collins' hands because Nico Collins was the only guy I think this in today's game who you can trust to put the football in his hands. Again, that's why you do need more playmakers. That's why I do, like I said, I understand how well of a season Nico's had. I'm not taking nothing away from Nico. Nico has had a phenomenal season, damn near 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns. And we seen what Tank do. We know we're gonna get Tank back. we're gonna get to we see how Tank was walking coming out. Was it the Titans game? How Tank was coming out during the Titans game when he was repping H-Town for the city. And he looked like a cannon or whatever. So repping H-Town. So we seen how that was. And we seen how Tank was in that moment, in that instance. We seen that. Even though that was the case, even though this might be the case, what we still need to do is make sure that we have weapons and guys who can make plays. And sometimes you need guys who can get the football and you get the football in their hands quick. You gotta do short little quick passes, get the football in their hands quick, and able to make plays. That's one of the reasons why, like I said, it's proven otherwise, especially with Mechie, I'm not counting on them because you would think that that's something that is easy to get the football in his hands. Okay, hey man, I don't really okay, route running, whatever, down the field, whatever. But hey, let me do a little quick, little short, little dump off pass. You know what I'm saying? A little quick 2-step drop. Get the football out of my hands quick. Get the football in your hands quick, and allow you to make plays. And they're not doing that. So I don't know if that's Bobby Slowick not calling it, not practicing on it, or they do it in practice and they don't like what they see. So I don't know exactly what it is. Either way it goes, it's something that needs to be checked, and it's something I feel like that's alarming. So I feel like you gotta find a way to get that fixed and get that improved. And the way to get that fixed and the way to get that improved easily is to put playmakers around your quarterback. And I feel like that's what they need to do. I feel like they need to do and get playmakers around your quarterback. I feel like that's what they need to do, man. They gotta find a way to put playmakers around their quarterback. I feel like that's what they need to do. They need to put playmakers around their quarterback. If it's a playmaker tight end, another playmaking receiver, a playmaking running back, a pass catching playmaking running back, they need to find a way to get playmakers on this team for CJ Stroud, so CJ Stroud is able to move the football up and down the field more fluently. Because he needed somebody today. And I said, I don't understand why we didn't go to the short passing game, why we didn't go to the screen game with Nico Collins to help move the football to the field, while the running attack and the running game was struggling, because it was the running attack and the running game was struggling in all game today. It was. It never got. It never. Like, it was there one. That was there one play by Singletary, where Singletary actually made a play. They would break a couple tackles and I think it was like a 14-yard run. That was it. Other than that, that was the only thing that the running attack actually showed glimmerly. They actually had a positive play to it. Other than that, it didn't have positive. It wasn't rather than that the running attack and, and blocking the running. Nothing you got out of the ground game was positive. Nothing you really got out. Then I saw that, and then the what I think like a 25-yard pass, Nico. Nothing offensively was positive. Like again, a team that's been carried all day, all year by their rookie quarterback, and the offense carried all year. The only time the offense didn't carry the Texans was against the Titans in December 17th in Tennessee. I forgot what week it was. I think it's classified week 15. That's the only time that the defense carried the offense. Other than that, the offense carried the defense in every game this season. And the offense did not carry the offense could not match up today. It couldn't match up. It couldn't step up. And the defense just eventually broke and couldn't keep his level, because the offense it got nothing. It got 3 points from the offense there. Special teams gave you 7. Offense gave you 3. Special teams gave you 7. Offense gave you 3. And even if Fairbairn makes the field goal, offense still only give you 6. In the defense, in the special teams gave you 7. Like, you did absolutely nothing offensively. That's a problem. And I feel like that's a problem that you got to fix this offseason via trades, free agency, or the draft. I don't know how you fix it. I don't know what. I know that you need to get a playmaker. I do know you need to get a playmaker. Now, until what type of playmaker you decide to get, I don't know. That I don't know. I don't know, however you want to feel it. But, like I say, it might be a good thing that we got our butts kicked like that. That the offense completely no-showed, and you completely got out there, and you got, what's that meme with Batman slapping Robin? You got smacked around. Got smacked around. And I think it was a good thing. Again, this definitely was upset. Man, when I first got in here, frustrated. And still am. But as I sit back and think and go back and keep on looking, because these numbers will keep looking me in the face. That's why I write them down, because they constantly looking at me and staring me in the face. They keep looking at me and staring at me in the face. I'm sitting there like, this might be a good thing. In a weird way, this might be a good thing. Because we got some stuff we got to fix. We not as good as we thought we were. We not as great as we thought we not ready as we thought we was. And we got some things to fix. And all the good things that we seen this season, not to say they was fool's gold, but don't completely bank on that as the case. And constantly keep on trying to improve. If you don't improve, you stay stagnant. If you stay stagnant, you actually get worse. And if you get worse, we already know what happens. You gotta constantly try to improve. That's the way you want to get better. You constantly try to improve and get better 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 and get better. That's what you gotta do. So I think in a weird way, this is good. I know it sounds crazy to say it, but you gotta get better now. Now we gotta find a way to get better. Now we gotta find a way to improve. Now we gotta find a way to move it up. We just do. Point blank period. We just do. We just gotta find a way to get better, and move up and get better. I must say, I think the pick, I think is like pick 23. I mean, like I said, now we better be back in our wheelhouse. Like I said, boy, Ray probably gonna have a 7-round draft. A 7-round draft by later on the night. Probably posted up, ready to go. Talk about who we gonna draft, who we need to draft. It's time to look at prospects right now. Now it's time to look at a lot of things. Now we could sit back and look at a lot of things. I know I've been trying to avoid a lot because people ask me questions all the time about, hey man, who you think we're gonna draft? Who you think we need to draft? What about this guy? What about that guy? And I'm like, man, I'm worried about the playoffs. We trying to get to the playoffs right now. We in the playoffs. Like I'm not thinking about draft pick. I mean, somebody asked me a quick question, I'll tell them, okay, yeah, I like receiver, player, whoever, but I'm not going deep, diving and deep, like huge thoughts about it because of we got the playoffs coming around. So we in the middle of the playoffs. We won a playoff game. We are trying to get to we're trying to get into the championship round. Something we've never been in before. I'm not worried about the draft. But it's a good season. And I know a lot of people have been saying that, and I've been like getting away from that, and I don't want to think like that. Like I feel like we shouldn't be saying good season because there's a lot of season left that could and should have been played. But in all, was a good season. This team surpassed my expectations and also got my expectations at the same time. Uh, I think we have our franchise quarterback. Feel like the he's the top 5 quarterback, probably like third best quarterback in the league. Uh, I feel like we have our head coach. This is going to lead us to a championship. I feel like we have our Mike Tomlin type coach, like guy who's going to be coaching for however long he wants the job. Uh, I think the future is bright in the city of Houston. I feel similar or how I felt back in 2011, even though in 2011 the game was a closer game, it was more of a gut punch. But also at the same time, you felt more genuine about the future because this is your rookie quarterback. Even though I know TJ Yates was a rookie quarterback, and I did think that TJ Yates could possibly be something, but nothing to the level of what we seen now, CJ Stroud. So I feel like that we on to something. We cooking. Like I feel like we on to something. We cooking right now. We the future is bright. Uh, a lot of things that need to be fixed, but it's stuff that can be fixed. There's things that need to be fixed can be fixed. It's stuff that is very fixable things, and I definitely think the Texans are a force to be reckoned with. I do believe that the NFL is going to be afraid of C.J. Stroud, and it's coming. Oh, it's coming, and they don't want him or this team to get that good because once we get good, it's over and it's a wrap. And we talking about multiple conference championships. We talking about multiple Super Bowl championships. So it is what it is. You got them beating the Ravens on Madden. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you, man. I definitely feel you. We knew we. So I think he's trying to say mollywop. So now y'all knew. Now y'all knew y'all was gonna mollywop us. It's okay. Now y'all knew y'all was gonna mollywop us. Need another big time receiver, cornerback, safety, and middle linebacker. Chris, what's up, Kinfolk? What's good? What's good, Kinfolk? Yeah, it's all good. It ain't all good, man. Yeah, I like I said, I trying to laugh to keep from crying, man. Like straight up, man. Like really, like when realization set in that like it's the last time I'm gonna see these boys play for a minute. Like I ain't gonna be able to watch these boys play football until preseason of August preseason game. And the last time I'm gonna watch them play meaningful football in September, because CJ's probably like now that what we seen out of CJ's probably gonna play like one preseason game now. Because he barely played a lot of preseason like last year. Like he played one drive the first game. He played about a half of the second game, and then the third game, I think the same thing. He only played like one drive, and it was a wrap. Uh, so, uh, so really, last time you watched these boys play until September, like it's a long time. It's 9 months from now. You know, no, we almost done with January, so I say 8 months. That's a whole another 8 months. You gotta sit up here and wait for the Texans to play football again. That's that's kind of like, man, hold up. Got too much lean in the cup. Man. It was supposed to be. Yeah, I feel you, man. Like, I mean, like I know, like I said, a lot of people don't feel like that. Shit. A lot of people feel like we were supposed to give the Cardinals the second pick in the draft. Like that's how a lot of people felt. You know, you got people like national pundits and saying that the Texans were the only team in the AFC that they couldn't fathom or find a way for them to the playoffs, which was stupid. Very simple. Win the division. Like every team has a way to make the playoffs, and Cause I felt that way about Pittsburgh. I felt that Pittsburgh, and but also I also said as long as Kenny Pickett was their starting quarterback, I didn't care how good their defense was, they wasn't gonna win the division. And obviously, there's no. My thing wasn't to make the playoff. My thing was there was no way for them to win the division with Kenny Pickett as their quarterback. Now, yeah, they did not win the division because the Ravens won the division. They made the playoffs, but they also made the playoffs when they decided to bench Kenny Pickett and allow Mason Rudolph to be the starter. And lucky for them that Denver quit on the season by benching Russell Wilson when they still had a chance to make it in. Then you also had Joe Burrow get hurt. And also they only and then like the Ravens like the last game of the season the Ravens rested their stars and they beat the Ravens and that what got them into the playoffs because they would have lost that game against the Ravens they wouldn't have made the playoffs. So it is what it is. Like they wouldn't have made the playoffs. The Ravens would have like had to play a game, and the Ravens would play their stars. The Ravens would have knocked them out of the playoffs. I think Jacksonville. I think the Jags would have made the playoffs as the seventh seed instead of the Pittsburgh. But that's again a conversation for another day. So like I feel like but I say all that to say like that the Texans from a lot of people's standards and a lot of people's views and a lot of people's thinking that we was not going to be this far. Wasn't even going to make it nowhere near the playoffs. Not only did we make it to the playoffs, we won a playoff game and we got the divisional round. And we got the divisional round. We got our butts kicked, got our teeth kicked in, got completely embarrassed, and got uh, completely, like I said, completely embarrassed and got sat down. And on some level, we deserved it. On some level, we needed it. And I'm kind of glad that we. No, I'm not glad that we got it. Obviously, I'm never glad that we lose a game, but we deserved it when we needed it, and we're gonna grow from it. I believe. Like I feel like we're gonna be better. His ankle started flaring up on him, man. Like I mean, like I said, Willie Anderson been dealing with injuries since with the Jets game. 'Cause that's when he got hurt, and he's been dealing with the injury since that Jets game when he got hurt, and that the high ankle sprain, and he's been dealing with that the whole time. He was basically gutting it out when we need him. That's why he only played, remember, 12 plays against the Titans, and he only played a couple more plays besides the 12 plays against the Colts, and that's because their Hughes went out in the game, and then also he gutted it for the two playoff games because the because of his, because it's the playoffs, so he's gutting it out. He was only out there because it was the playoffs and he was gutting it out. Like I said, like I was like the Colts game, in the Brown and like last week against the Browns. Like if you can't walk unless you are not able to walk, you should be playing in this game. There's no reason why you should not be playing the game unless you can't walk. That's the only way that you cannot be playing the game. If you not walking, they can't clear you to play. Because Tank can walk, but they can't. But Tank can't get cleared to play. Type situation. So, that's what it was with Will Anderson. Just the ankle started flaring up on him. He's trying to give it a go. He gave it a go for the beginning of the game, and like the first half. And I think he didn't play at all in the second half because it just took him out of the game. Uh, because it was the injuries. I mean, the ankle was just flaring up on him. It was bothering him. Just a warrior out there trying to get everything he got so he can go out there and play and give it to his teammate. I'm like, it's just how it is, man. It's unfortunate, but again, it just shows you the character he has and the mindset he has, and that he was trying to get it done for City. He was trying to win, so it is what it is, man. Man, appreciate everybody that came through here, man. I know it's a tough loss. I know we all upset. I know we all upset. Uh, no victory cigars, no drinks in celebratory fashion. We more so drown our sorrows. So, I appreciate everybody that came through here. Everybody hit the like button. If you ain't hit the like button already, make sure you hit that like button. Appreciate y'all hitting the like button. If you ain't hit the like button already, make sure you hit the like button. Everybody hit the super chat love. It says super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Y'all know how much that means to me. I definitely appreciate that. Appreciate everybody and thank you for everybody that came through to check out the video. Definitely appreciate the love. I'm not mistaken. I think Honcho is live right now, so you know what I'm saying, we go kick it over there with Honcho. Uh, just because the season's over does not mean the content is stopped. Does not mean that. Don't mean that. I'm going to do a season wrap up video on Wednesday. I know Wednesdays normally when I do my whole NFL breakdown for the following week in the playoffs and the playoff outlook, but because and then on Friday I normally do the pregame. So what I'm gonna do is on Friday I'm gonna do a playoff pregame Friday, since I'm not gonna be covering just one team, the Texans. I normally say that for the Texans. Since the Texans not playing, I'm gonna do a pregame for the. I'm gonna do a championship pregame on Friday at 8:30. Wednesday on 8:30, I'm gonna do a season recap live stream. We're gonna talk about the season. We'll talk about the season. We're gonna talk about the goods, the bads, the indifferences, and also are trending and where do we need to improve, and also how could we and how can we improve on those said things. So we're gonna talk about that on Wednesday, 8:30. right here on the stream. I'm still gonna drop some content, some videos throughout the week. Uh, I got a video I've been thinking about doing. I was actually saving for the season. Then I was hoping I didn't have to make the video uh about the about Rookie of the Years, but I have to make it now. Uh, and I got some other content also about potential guys who might get paid this offseason. We're gonna talk about that as well. We'll talk about guys who possibly can and will get paid. We're gonna break it down, man. So make sure make sure y'all tune in to the channel. Y'all tune into the live stream on Wednesday. Tune into the live stream on Friday. Tune into the videos throughout the whole week. Make sure you check out my boy Honcho Sauce Sports every day at 7 o'clock. And hey, even though the season is over officially, we still gonna give y'all that good content, man. So make sure y'all tune in, man. Like, share, subscribe. If you haven't, comment below video. Like I said, man, we still on the race to get the 6,000 subscribers. You know what that means? I need you to tell a friend, tell a friend, tell another friend, tell another friend, and tell some more friends, and then tell some friends, and then them tell some more friends, and put them on game with the channel, man. We still on the race to get 6,000 subscribers, and I can't get it without y'all, man. Cause y'all, I'm gonna let y'all know, y'all have done a big, huge help, a huge, massive help. This channel has grown a lot within the last 2 months. Like a whole lot. Like it's had massive growth within the last 2 months. And I know it's because of y'all, man. I know y'all been doing y'all thing. Y'all been helping me out, man. Like so y'all been liking, y'all been sharing, y'all been subscribing, y'all been helping out the algorithm, man, making sure the videos being seen, putting your coworkers on, putting your homeboy on, putting your sister on, putting your cousin on, putting your sister's cousin on, your sister your girl sisters on, your sister baby daddy on, you know what I'm saying, your cousin baby daddy on. You been putting everybody on, you been putting everybody on the game. So I appreciate you. But I need y'all to keep that going. I need y'all to keep on doing it. I need y'all to keep my boy Honcho put Raven fans. I see a whole bunch of Raven fans flying in the head. Hey, so Ravens fans, y'all definitely want to tune in to the future content too. Y'all definitely want to tune into the future content, especially going into the divisional, the championship rounds. Y'all definitely want to tune in, so make sure y'all tune into that. Make sure y'all tune in, man. Appreciate everybody that came through. Appreciate the love. Like I said, I know it's been a tough season. Well, great season, but tough game today. It's all good though. Like I say, make sure you hit that like button, like, share, subscribe. Let's get this channel growing. Can't do it without y'all. Click that bell, get more videos. Holla.